Ocean Pines is a vibrant residential community nestled on Maryland's eastern shore. With over 9 miles of waterfront property, amenities like an 18-hole championship golf course and a public yacht club, and a rich history dating back to 1968. Of course, if you live here, you probably know most of that. And if you don't, it's almost all apparent from your first visit. Each week on the Pines Cast, we work to bring out the ocean pines that might be less apparent. We celebrate the region, the amenities, and, most of all, the people who make and keep Ocean Pines a special place to live. Welcome to the Pines Cast, your source of news and insights about ocean pines and the official podcast of the Ocean Pines Association. This week, we are speaking with Brian Bishop. He runs the marketing show over at the Yacht Club and Ocean Pines Food and Beverage generally, and also is involved with the Touch of Italy promotions that go on there. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that they've got going on. The thing that I want to pitch right before we get started is there is a bourbon dinner coming up on October 18th. Please, if you like bourbon, don't miss it. I've been to these things. If you've never been to one and have always thought you'd like to, this is the time to do it. But I'll tell you what, I'll let Brian tell you himself. Here's Brian. So you are all the way new, and you take away my first question, which is how long have you lived in Ocean Pines? But we're going to be talking about all of the things that are going on in the Yacht Club and that we hope to see go on in the Yacht Club. But before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about how you found your way to Touch of Italy and then how you got this sweet gig in Ocean Pines. So how did you get the job at Touch of Italy, and where did you first start there?
I'll make it as brief as possible. In August of 2024, I'd known Sip for a long time, Bob Cipriati, who runs Touch of Italy. And he asked me some questions about, hey, I got some things going on. What do you think it would take to get this kind of a guy and to do these kind of things? And I gave him my answer. And about 4 months later, he asked me to come to Rehoboth, and I sat down, and he basically presented me what I had given him back in August of what you would need to do, and this is how you'd compensate, blah, blah, blah. So I decided after 37 years in the automotive world as a parts manager, service manager, sales rep, and marketing guy, I decided it was time to leave that industry and try my hand at hospitality, because we are in the hospitality business.
And that's not that huge a jump, right? I mean, you have to make people feel comfortable, you have to make them feel welcome, and you have to make them feel special.
I will tell you, the menus are a little different.
Yeah.
The service departments do have menus. They're more like the bronze, the silver, and the gold menu selling. But no, Touch of Italy is a unique restaurant. They do not do things the way that most people, in my opinion. But you're correct. Customer service is customer service. Hospitality is hospitality, no matter what industry you're in.
And so what was the assignment that you had accidentally created for yourself when you went to Touch of Italy? What were some of the goals? What were some of the changes that you were suggesting?
Just basically, I need a guy. I mean, that was basically the way it was presented. I need a guy that can do this and do that. And what do you think it would take? It's a very large animal with a very focused small crew. But basically, getting things organized and on a calendar and being more proactive as opposed to reactive, which as more and more gets dumped on the plate, it's a little hard to do sometimes. But we're constantly growing, constantly trying to respond to the market changes and obviously changes in just demographics as Sussex County grows, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I was trying to bring, is my creative flair and just a little bit of order, a little less chaos.
And when you are talking about marketing, there is like kind of in-season and off-season marketing. So right. Is that kind of how you split it up, or?
It depends upon the location. Lewis, as an example, it's just year-round. There's enough support in that particular town and base of community. Same with Rehoboth. Ocean City is definitely a on-season, off-season. And as far as marketing, there's not too much you can say or do in Ocean City that's going to drive traffic. It's going to be there when people come in droves, because they're going to look for a place to eat. And obviously they want to stop by and see us. So we got a good heavy social media presence, and we're on the local radio station, Ocean 98, quite a bit, talking to Bulldog in the morning. Yeah. So that's it. You know what? Marketing to me is everything you do that makes people want to tell you how great it was. So working on, like you mentioned, the hospitality, and working on how you present yourself to the customer. They have such a wonderful experience that they can't wait to tell their friends and neighbors. That's the best type of marketing. So we're really focused on that as well.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's the experience that I think is the differentiator. Like, you have to have good food. If you don't have good food, then you've got 90 days, right? But having good food is just insufficient, I think, in a world where people have so many choices and can make decisions based on how they want to be treated, how they want to feel.
And it's so subjective in all reality about what people like and don't like. But it's hard not to like fresh mozzarella that's made literally fresh in our commissary, or the sauces that are made fresh, or our own bakery where all of our baked goods and cannolis are made by our guys in Rehoboth. So it's definitely a different. There's nothing shipped in frozen. They're pretty much taking care of all of it.
And in addition to that, one of the things that I always, because I'm from New Jersey originally, and I'm kind of an East Coast snob that way. And I think, because everybody is always like, well, it's the water, it's this. I think it's really just the effort that goes behind it and the attention to detail. Well, and you have to care. And if you don't care, people can taste it in your food.
Well, that's what's so great about our culinary director, Peter Scioli, is when I was talking to him about how they do things. You let the food speak for itself. Seasoning is like makeup. It's to augment, not cut. Right. And I will say that when you use good ingredients and you present it well and you let the food speak for itself, as opposed to trying to oversalt it and then put salt on the salt, it does make a difference, because then you can actually start tasting the food, which is sometimes hard to do when you're on the road traveling. You're just tasting the seasoning.
Yeah, butter and salt is what you taste.
Exactly.
And so when did you get the word that Ocean Pines was on the horizon, and what was your involvement in that?
Well, initially, I heard the word in January, but I was told, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. It ain't been announced yet. It's not on your plate. Don't worry about it. So I didn't, but it was quickly, probably in April and May. Guess what's on your plate? Because you have to have a streamlined operation. You have to know. Everybody's got to be involved. It's all hand on deck in order for it to succeed, because this is a different operation than a nice neighborhood or upscale Italian restaurant. This is definitely a lot more when you're talking entertainment and you're talking just the whole season, the clubhouse, because we're not just doing food and beverage. We're taking care of pretty much everything when it comes to the amenities at Ocean Pines.
And so how did you eat this dinosaur? What was your approach coming in?
Well, initially I was just handed off the music. So I started booking the bands. I think we had 13 to 14 dates left in 2025. And I booked 2026 way early. And I know some bands are upset with me because the calendar filled up before I got to them. But just trying to make sure good entertainment, make sure that it's some variety, but also there's some local favorites that we want to get in pretty much on a consistent basis, making sure they're there for the big holidays. But that was my main foray was dealing with the music end of it, booking the entertainment.
And so how much experience did you have with that beforehand? Were you kind of in the scene?
I've played music out professionally probably since about 1988. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, and I front a band and plays in Ocean City all over town. In fact, I played the Yacht Club August 9th.
Are you allowed to say, or are you being coy, or
no? I'm in a band called Pistol Whipped.
Okie doke.
We play at Secrets and Pickles Pub and Angler and here at the Pine, and then all the places up north. We've been around probably about 7-8 years in this particular outfit. But I understand what it is to try to put a schedule together, because the other guys have other projects, so you're always trying to figure out those sweet spots where everybody can do their thing but still have time for you.
Right.
That's the thing. So yeah, I've been around that end of it as far as a performer, but also dealing with agencies and other things for a long time.
That was kind of like the easier part for you, was finding. It wasn't like, how do you find a band? Let me go to Google.
No. Well, we're very fortunate. There's a fine young lady in Ocean City who puts out a little thing called the OC Beat. So she has a list of all of the bands, but you also talk to the people that work here in the community, and they'll let you know who they like and who fits well. So it wasn't difficult, but it's very difficult to book a band when you're already in the season.
Right.
Very hard. Hey, I need somebody for May. Well, it's April. Good luck. Because most people are going to be booked at least a year, 6 months to a year ahead.
And so you, as you said, though, you feel pretty good about 2026 already.
Yeah, I do. We'll tweak it as it goes along. We may be doing some things off season. We've been talking about that, having some other events. We're doing some acoustic entertainment at the clubhouse in October on Fridays with a local favorite, Jack Bannon, for instance, this Friday. And of course, there's also music at the Beach Club for Ocean Pines Beach Club there on 50th Street or 49th Street. So yeah, I will tell you this, you get a different perspective booking as you do than being the performer. It's just a total different mindset when you're actually trying to hire someone as opposed to be hired. Because I'm the kind of guy that feels like it's a privilege if I even get a gig.
Right.
Grateful. And there's a few people that they're entitled. They're entitled to those gigs, and how dare you not give them to me? And I've had to just kind of balance that and not take it personal because I wear my heart on my sleeve most of the time. I swear I'm Italian, but I'm not.
And also, you don't want to get a name of you don't want to be bestowing things on people. You just want to give the right people the right slot because they belong in it.
It's about okay, who brings the crowd? It's about what's the cost of the performer. It's all about it. It's about what's going on that weekend. Is it July 4th weekend? Is it Memorial Day weekend? Those are all factors you have to take into consideration to get the right bands, because the Ocean Pines community knows what they like.
Right.
And they show it by who they show up for. And I was very grateful that they showed up for me. So,
and how do you go about doing the rest of it? Because marketing is also branding, right? You have to say this is generally what you're going to expect when you come from this place. And I know in the beginning they were talking about trying to not make it too touch of Italy.
Yeah.
And you've, I guess, since kind of a little, you've been asked to embrace that a little bit more by the residents. But so what was that transition like when you were first coming in?
I would say it's still a transition because even though the guys who run the company have got years of experience of doing what they're doing, they've been doing it a long time and they've been very good at it. This is a different animal. The idea of different crowds, the tiki bar crowd, the lunch crowd, the dinner crowd, the event, it's very, very niche in some respects in this, and at least that's my opinion. Same with the clubhouse. So trying to find that where you create the uniqueness of the yacht club, but at the same time are able to infuse some of the really good things about Touch of Italy. I say we're still trying to put it together, but I think we did a pretty good job our first season, to be honest with you.
Hey there, listeners. Are you in the Ocean Pines area and looking for a pharmacy that goes above and beyond? Look no further than Tidal Health Home Scripts. Open 6 days a week, our knowledgeable pharmacists are ready to fill your prescriptions in just minutes. Plus, we offer free home delivery in the Ocean Pines area and have a super convenient drive-through window. Need over-the-counter items? We've got a large selection. And with our monthly sales, you'll find everything you need at great prices. Conveniently located at the North Gate of Ocean Pines, Tidal Health Home Scripts is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. To fill a prescription or arrange for a free home delivery, give us a call at 410-543-4769. That's 410-543-4769. Remember, that's Tidal Health Home Scripts, your trusted pharmacy partner. And can you talk to me a little bit about working with the golf club? Because I know that was a kind of a, you were going to be open a little bit later. You were going to make sure people always had service as long as the golf was going on. And how did that work out? What kind of season did you guys have?
Again, I'd have to talk to Tiffany to get the real numbers. She's wonderful. The person who runs the actual restaurant there, the bar and grill, and they're doing doing the football promotions with the NFL ticket and other things. Again, it's a matter of just figuring out what works. You have an idea, but sometimes you have to tweak it. Sometimes you have to make adjustments because it may be really, really busy at this time and not so much at this time. And so it's actually pretty fun because you're basically assembling it in real time as opposed to coming in, come hell or high water. This is going to.
Right.
You're really trying to find out how you can draw the golf club. That golf course is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And trying to get more people to recognize just the value and the beauty of it. That's something else we're trying to do. We'd like the public to come.
And part of it is, again, as we started in the beginning, it's not just the course is important, but the experience is what you're going to remember when you sit down at the end of 18 holes and you're like, oh, well, that was really, it's a cool place to hang out. it's a place where I felt like no one was looking at their watch to see when I was going to be done and out of the way or anything like that.
Well, and that would certainly go against the philosophy that I've seen. It really is about hospitality, and it's about customer experience. I'll give you a short example. Sometimes, when you're lost and just trying to get stuff done, you'll use terms that are it's a correct term, but it doesn't imply what we really do. So I put a reel together, and I said a shout out to all of our customers, because without them, there would be no Touch of Italy. And the guy that I work for, or work with, as he would say, said, no, they're our guests. So that's the the mentality of thinking about who these people are. They are our guests, and we're there to serve them and take care of them. And we want to have that same kind of philosophy here.
And so let's take a little bit of a look at the Yacht Club now. So you're coming into the Yacht Club, and it has, these kind of dinner standards, and it also has the banquet facilities. And, how do you kind of put together a bigger messaging package that breaks down all of the things that the Yacht Club is for?
It is amazing, because I worked very close with Carrie Greenleaf, who's our banquets director, and putting together the weddings package and figuring out, what's going to work as far as the banquets and what kind of food and what kind of tiers we want to offer, as far as people can choose, a platinum or whatever it is that they want. Was it going to be plated? Is it going to be buffet style? Those kind of things. Again, we are kind of very fortunate that the facility itself is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The room is awesome. It's beautiful. Being able to actually get married when the weather's nice out on the dock, it's just absolutely wonderful. So we're obviously promoting that, but as well as a dining experience, mainly during the season. But we're off season. We're still Wednesday through Saturday, I believe, in hours. So we're still trying to make sure that we're providing a good time for everybody in Ocean Pines, but also anybody who wants to make that quick 10-minute trip into Ocean Pines and make that ride on Mumford and head to the Yacht Club.
And how have you been doing with outside traffic? Is that something you're still developing? Have you seen more of it? Do you know?
The actual numbers, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Right.
I don't really have anything to compare it to, because it's not like the previous food and beverage person is going to go, here's my books, here's what I did, and this
right. Yeah.
So we're starting fresh. But I will say that every component that's in the Ocean Pines community that we're involved with, it's all important to us, and we want all of it to be successful, whether it's the clubhouse or whether it's the events or whether it's just the dining experience or whether it's the entertainment experience or whether you go to the beach club, come off the beach and have a nice burger and a drink. We want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. I think because we did get some pretty good days at the beach club over the summer. Thanks to some creative signage that we put out. Eat and drink here. So that was nice. But I think it's going to grow. I really do think that the potential for growth as far as traffic is, I think at this point, the sky's the limit. Once the word gets out, and we're trying to get it out, I think we're going to continue to see the property do very well.
And I'm sorry for not knowing this. The beach club is still open? How much longer is the beach club open?
It's only open for the... and how dare you not do your research?
I'm so sorry. You caught me off guard. Fortunately, I can cut this part out.
Yes, you cheater. Please leave it in.
No.
We've been able to say cheater on the air before. No, they're closed now. They closed after Labor Day weekend, I do believe. But so they're open mainly in the summer from like Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day. And so what were your takeaways from this season, and how do you feel like you're going to apply them to next season? It's a great question. My takeaway, again, I've got no point of reference. I don't have it's kind of like when you get married to have your first kid. Right. By the fourth kid, you know what you're doing, but the first kid, it's like, I don't know how this is going to go. See how his terrible twos go. I have no idea or clue what's going to happen. I think it's a matter of, it's already an established facility. My opinion, I've got no facts to back it up. Possibly underutilized, could be utilized or so there's a lot of potential there. Because it's not like Ocean City doesn't get beach traffic. Right. I was excited. It's a little harder to feel out as far as like what entertainment works there. We mainly do acoustic and trying to figure out which artists did well, did not do well, or performers. So it's still very much, to me, as far as marketing and as far as trying to figure out who to put in there, it's in the infancy stages. But I still see wonderful things ahead. What does November look like for you guys? Like, you've got the holiday season coming up. You do parties and things, I would imagine. We are going to be having some, obviously, Thanksgiving, obviously, We got some wine dinners we're actually putting together, the Amalfi Coast, some other things that are happening in November and December. I'm really wanted to talk about the bourbon dinner because it happens to have Blanton's and E.H. Taylor and Eagle Rare, my favorite from the Buffalo Trace Distillery Sazerac Company.
When is the bourbon dinner?
It is October the 18th from about 6 to 9:30, 6 to 10. So we have a guy. I got a guy. That's a big phrase we hear a lot at Touch of Italy.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Stanley. He is the bourbon and whiskey steward for the company because we have a facility we call the Chef's Table at Touch of Italy where we do wine dinners and bourbon dinners. It's a small, very intimate place, open kitchen. You can watch the chef prepare the food. It's pretty awesome, pretty high class, and very rare in this area. And we want to kind of bring some of that to the Yacht Club. So on the October the 18th, Mike is bringing his expertise along with some great brand names of bourbon. Blanton's, as an example, or Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor, and also Weller full barrel proof. So there's an opportunity to enjoy food that would be properly, not that you pair food with bourbon, but not like wine, but still that will accentuate the flavors and go well with them. So we're looking forward to that.
It's like an excuse to treat yourself. Those dinners, I think, are more just, again, about the experience, right? It's how to go out and enjoy yourself rather than,
you go to fast food restaurants or whatever, or chain restaurants for convenience and because you're traveling. That's it is for me.
Right.
But when I'm at home, I like to go places that are locally owned and operated. That's how I found Touch of Italy. I've been frequenting that for a long time, long before I ever worked for the company, which why I didn't mind working for the company. I knew how good it was. But yeah, a bourbon dinner is an experience. It is not food and bourbon. It is literally information. It's storytelling. It's understanding the complexities of also how the different distilleries produce the flavoring. Like, I'll give you an example. Blanton's has a much unique, deeper flavor than Buffalo Trace, even though it's the same mash, as they call it, because of how they actually age it. They age it in a metal building in oak barrels, which means it gets a lot hotter, a lot quicker, and a lot colder. So the temperature fluctuations in that particular building are much more intense, causing the bourbon to be sucked in and out of the oak a lot more, and you get a much different finish and a much different flavor than with the same mash with Buffalo Trace. Not that that's not good, but that's the kind of stuff you find out. And then when you start pairing it with food and you're using the right glass, the Glencairn glass, to make sure you can actually catch the bouquet as well as the flavors. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It is an experience to be able to sit down with people who also appreciate fine food and fine bourbon, and to really just enjoy that with no other distractions.
And although they're not a sponsor, I can say that I went to the Buffalo Trace Distillery as a reporter, and it is just as you say. They have all of these great, different buildings there, and it's crazy to see how seriously. I mean, God bless them for it, but it's crazy to see how seriously they take the whole process. My little trivia from there, which to this day is the top 10 coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. They have a place where they bring the trucks in, and a vacuum cleaner comes down and sucks up all the grain, and then the truck moves like 6 feet forward, and they spit all the mash into it, and then they take the mash back and feed it to the pigs or whatever they do with it. And it's just crazy sustainable from back when that was what you had to do to, like, they haven't really changed. It's become more mechanical, but attitudinally, it's the same as it's been for whatever 150
well,
years.
It's an art. A good distiller, it's literally is a craft, and it's the same with food. So when you're pairing those two particular crafts of people who know what they're doing, can provide an exceptional product. It's pretty cool, which is why it's really cool to bring it to the Yacht Club.
And as far as the wine dinners, I know you don't have. Do you have some dates locked in? But can you give me a sense of what they're going to be like?
Probably more, I believe, more of Italian wines. The Amalfi Coast obviously is
right.
So it'll be a more of an experience or a journey into that type of thing where you take and marrying Italian cuisine with Italian wines. That's the idea. We're very successful at the Chef's Table. I will tell you that. We just finished chapter 3 of a tour of Italy, and we'd like to bring that a little bit of that experience here.
And again, because it gives you the opportunity to let people to use the benefit of the rest of the company for Ocean Pines for the yacht club, if nothing else.
Well, think about it. If you're a resident of Ocean Pines, or you're in or Berlin, or wherever you are, and you know about the yacht club and you've been to the yacht club, then you know when you go up into the banquet hall that you are in a very, very nice, appointed, beautiful facility. And to be able to sit down with your linen napkins and to have food served to you and plated properly, and it's whether it's aesthetically pleasing from the eyes, but also to the palate. It's why not bring that to the yacht club, because this facility is awesome. And of course, you've got your Thursday night trivia that's still happening. So, and plus the menu, the smash burger specials on Thursday, the parm night on Wednesday, the fish Fridays. There's a lot of opportunity to save a little bit of money, have a great meal, but also just enjoy the ambiance of the yacht club. So, and like I mentioned, the wine dinners that are coming up and some other things that are in the works. It's ingrained. We are about experience, not just about handing somebody a plate of food.
That is fantastic. And I am running out of questions, but I wonder, is there something else that you wanted to say that I didn't give you a chance to, or something you thought I'd ask? What should I have asked you that I didn't ask you?
I have no idea. I thought you did great. I will say that there are certain key personnel and people that work at the yacht club that I think are key to their success. The support that we get from the Ocean Pines Association, like Nancy McCubbin or Linda or John, it's wonderful. And we think about it, we have the clubhouse like Tiffany, or whether it's Katie at the yacht club or Carrie doing the events. It is about people. No matter how much AI may be in the world or how much we may automate things, in the end, the real hospitality is extended by the people that execute it. And we're very fortunate to have those people working for us.
What a cool conversation. What a great guy to talk to. It's so much fun to see how things have changed, like almost overnight, over there at the Yacht Club and the F&B in general. I will be out of town on the 18th, but if you're not out of town, like I said, make it to that bourbon dinner. Those things are super cool. The Pines Cast is an Ocean Pines Association production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. Executive producer, Sarah Ash. Please reach out to us with comments, questions in the show notes, or you can send me an email. My email address is bytonyrusso@gmail.com. That is bytonyrusso@gmail.com. I'd love to hear what you need to know, and I would love to tell you what it is once I find it out for myself. But that will do it for this time on the Pines Cast.